Brothers That Just Do Gutters didn't always start out as the Brothers That Just Do Gutters. It started out as my brother who just did gutters.
I was approached actually by somebody in the gutter business and had asked me while I was in a teaching job, and I told him, nah, I'm not really interested. I'm pursuing my teaching career, and that's going really well right now. That summer I had been working. I was framing, and this guy asked me again, and I said, you know what, framing as opposed to gutters, I think gutters is probably a lot lighter than carrying lumber every day. So I took him up on the offer. That summer I worked with him, and I saw a little bit of his lifestyle and how he lived and what he had and what he did, and I was like, man, seems like a really nice business that he has going here. Maybe it's something that I might be able to do. And he even offered before the end of the summer, because he knew I was going to go back to my job, he says, hey, why don't you just stay here and I'll teach you everything I know about the business and you can be a gutter guy. And I says, you know what, I'll think about it. And I thought about it for a couple days, and I took my degree and I threw it in the gutter.
I was a fine art graphic design major, and he basically was trying to recruit me. He knew the company I was working for wasn't doing well, that I really wasn't making any money at all. And eventually I said, you know what, I need to save some money, move on with my life, and I actually went and I worked for him. And I basically told him I'll work for him until I find a real job. So I'm still looking for a real job. But no, so we just like two brothers, just like when we were kids, like doing chores. It kind of felt like the same, just us going out, having fun, doing gutters and things like that. But it kind of it started to evolve. I brought some skills to the table I didn't know I had. I didn't know I had a mind for business and systems and what I was striving for. And then what he was striving for was awesome too. He always had a vision that was so much bigger than just, two brothers that were going out in the truck and installing gutters. So together, we were able to kind of build a company, and it ends up turning into a pretty awesome thing. So it turns out that we were building systems all along the way, because Ken didn't want to be on a truck. I didn't want to be on a truck for the rest of our lives. We watched countless people that we knew that were in the trades, our friends' parents that were electricians, carpenters, you name it, that ended up aging out of their business, and their business wasn't worth anything. And if they didn't go to work, they didn't make any money. So we kind of saw a glimpse of what the future could be. And while we could work real hard and we could have made, good money, the two of us, if we just stuck to that plan, we just didn't see how we could have the time we wanted with our families, build a business, and then also do the things that we wanted to do. So we kind of just kept coming up with a system for, all right, this is broken, what can we do? And then we would fix it. And then we were constantly just pushing forward, and we didn't realize it until years into it that we were actually like developing a franchise model. Didn't know anything about franchising, but we knew systems work. And we had a pretty easy run in the beginning. We were trying to make it better and stuff, but new construction was like booming. Everyone was building. Anybody that had a pickup truck and a hammer was building a home and making money. So we happened to be in business at a really good time for being busy and having business, but we had no idea how to run a business, how to grow a business. Really, it was kind of, looking back, it's like, how do we even function? But we built up a very good company, and we ended up branching off. People would say, you're so great at gutters, why don't you do anything else? We're like, oh, we don't. And then we're like, why don't we? Everyone else is running around building houses, doing all this stuff. So we did. We actually started setting modular homes. We actually built a few houses, did renovations. Before you know it, we had like 20-something employees, and it was terrible. It was really terrible. It was stressful. We didn't know what we were doing. We were just paying money for stuff, and then the bottom fell out. All of a sudden, new construction died. We had to close our construction company. We had to let gutter guys go, and we were back down to like one gutter truck and nothing. And really, like my brother and I at one point said, if we can't make it work this year, we'll fire everyone, and you and I will go and we'll bust our butts for like 2 or 3 years and get out. It was just that close to being over. And if we were really good at reading our financials, we probably would have went bankrupt, but we weren't that good at that at the time. So it's very good that ignorance was a little bit bliss at that point in our business.
We closed down the construction business and got back to what our main focus was. And I think that's really important for entrepreneurs too, is to remain focused. If you chase after too many rabbits, you can end up with none, and we almost did. Some people probably would have said that we should have closed the doors.
What we realized is we had no residential business. It was all new construction, all the big builders, all the ones you've heard of, and every little contractor, that was our business. So we said to each other, we will never have a business model that depends on contractors again. And so we hired a marketing company with no money. We said, you know what, if we're going to do anything, we're going to invest in marketing to get back in front of the homeowner. Through this process, we came up with the Brothers That Just Do Gutters. The original company name was Waterfall Seamless Gutters. So we went into this marketing meeting and they said, all right, so, you do gutters, do you do siding or windows or anything? I'm like, no, we just do gutters. Like, no way are we doing that again. So we just do gutters. Like, all right, that's great. And they're like, well, you're family. People like family businesses. You should really concentrate on the fact that you're brothers, and you only do gutters. And before you know it, the phrase, the Brothers That Just Do Gutters, came about. Interesting though, it started out as the tag phrase for our company. It was Waterfall Seamless Gutters, aka the Brothers That Just Do Gutters. So we kind of co-branded, and it was like Nike Just Do It, Waterfall, the Brothers That Just Do Gutters. And people loved it. That when we answered the phone at some point, where you answer the phone, Waterfall Gutters, and they'd be like, oh, I think I have the wrong number. I'm looking for the Brothers That Just Do Gutters. We're like, no, that's us. So at one point, we're like, why fight it? And we literally took down Waterfall, we got a new company name, and then came out with a logo with our big faces on it, the Brothers That Just Do Gutters, and it took off. It really resonated with the clients. Anytime we call somebody and they say, oh, who's calling? Oh, this is Ryan with the Brothers That Just Do Gutters. And they go, oh, I like that name. So we struck gold with the name, because anything that you know about marketing, to get top of mind awareness and that branding and getting your name out there, people always throw that stuff around. And I feel like we've enjoyed spending far less money to get our name out there, because it was a very good accident, I guess you could say that. One of the biggest factors when we were franchising, we knew we had to update our logo. What we had worked. It was our photos on a truck, and it resonated with people, and they're like, look at those two guys, or I know him. And it was cool on a local level, but we realized that business model going forward didn't work. It didn't work 10, 20 years from now when that's still us. So we knew we had to update it, and finding a company to do that was extremely hard, because we still wanted to keep the idea of that there's two real brothers. We wanted it to be able to be duplicatable, not look like a gigantic national company, but not look too mom and pop. I mean, it was an undertaking to kind of get our vision out. And what was really cool is we found this company, Graphic Designs, and Dan Antonelli was more than willing to take on the challenge. And given their portfolio they do kind of a lot of work like that, we were completely confident that they would be able to pull this off. And what I really appreciated at the end of it is, they stuck to their guns on certain things. When we're like, no, why don't you try this? They're like, you know what? I really want you to trust us. This is better for you. And I appreciate that, because when it comes to a national brand and the client's always right, it doesn't work. Otherwise, everybody would have pictures of their kids as their logo, because, we like our kids. So I really appreciated that they would professionally say, I beg to differ on that. Why don't you just let us keep going down this path?
But it also portrays our values of being warm, family operated, friendly, professional, all those things. Dan was able to catch that in the Brothers That Just Do Gutters. Even the font, it has a little bit of a retro feel.
And what was great is, at the end of the day, we love our logo. and we love the collateral they did. They did a great job. I think they have an amazing team. The brand resonates with us. It resonates with the people.
We really appreciate Graphic Designs and Dan for all the hard work that they did on perfecting the Brothers Just Do Gutters logo. The learning process has to go beyond just us as business owners. It has to be a culture that you develop within your organization. How do you go about doing that? It wasn't that easy because I started reading all these books and everything and say, hey, read this book. And I would go to certain key employees and say, hey, do this, do that. And they were like, oh, yeah, whatever. They didn't want to do it. And I think the turning point in our organization was when our field supervisor, Job, he read raving fans.
Not only do they read the books, they give reports in front of their peers. So they come in and they literally do a book report, and they've been awesome. It's amazing how the guys will read a book, they'll come in, they're fired up. They're like, you know what, this helped me for work, but I realized, in my relationship with my wife that I was this way, and now I know I need to be this way. Like, we're sitting there going, oh my goodness, this is amazing. So we've seen the culture, our crews, our sales staff, our office staff, everyone has been able to just rise up. They want to provide the best experience for our clients. We don't have to say, hey, provide a good experience, because we have the right people and we invest in them. That has been a huge factor in our success. So what really attracted us to franchising in the beginning, we really just wanted to help other entrepreneurs buy a business system that helps them achieve the lifestyle that they want and get the time that they want. Because as an owner-installer, you never have time. Never have time. I don't care what your business is. You have to be there every day. You start believing stuff like, if I don't do it myself, it doesn't get done right. Or you say things like, stay small, keep it all. Those are all lies. They're all lies that we tell ourselves because we tried one time. We used to have 2 crews and it was nothing but headaches. And you hear it all the time. So it became our mission to really educate and teach people that there is a better way to run a business. What we've developed is a healthy mix for somebody to not own a job. The last thing I want to do is have somebody come to us and say, hey, I like being outside and gutter seems easy. I'd love to buy a gutter business. That's not our potential franchisee. That's somebody who's going to end up owning a job. We want somebody that wants to own a business. And when you own a business, it runs without you. For you, I think somebody told me a few years ago, they said, you're really a business owner when you can walk away from your business for at least 6 months and it runs without you.
That's kind of what we're looking for. Somebody who's good with people, has good character, is passionate about business, and wants to be loyal to the brand that we've created and be able to do something great with their territory that they buy into.
I stumbled upon Internicola Law Firm. We got into their radar or their marketing, and I started getting an email, hey, there's a webinar coming up. Download this white copy. And I was immediately impressed that there is a franchise lawyer that's working on his business as hard as we're working on ours.
They focused on franchise law. It's just not like another division of what he does. He's not general practice or any of those things. He's franchise law, and he has a systematic approach of how he does everything.
What we notice about every other franchise lawyer is like they just happen to do franchises. They didn't work on it. They didn't produce articles and white papers and write documents to further the industry. They were just like, oh yeah, we do divorce, we do this, we do franchise. Nobody had his passion. And it was evident through the market, and I loved it. I loved their look, their feel. It was more friendly. It wasn't just like your typical law firm with the scales. It just felt like us. It felt like our heart is their heart, and how they think about their brand is how we think about our brand. So I decided in my head before we even talked to him that that's the company I want. But before I knew anything, I said, I want them. I want them, and I hope that whatever they charge that we can afford, because that's who we really want to deal with. And it was really cool. It was so timely. I literally went to a law firm, went to their office, ready to cut them a check, sat at the table with them, asked a few questions and then I just was like, I froze. I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want them. And literally within like a week or so, I got an email saying that there's an upcoming seminar. And I said, all right, cool. This is the firm I've been watching. Went to the seminar online, listened, and I'm thinking, I want to be the first one to email, because I know that they were promoting where they had, they wanted to write a few more that year, and they only had limited spots.
We had interviewed a couple other law firms and been to some franchise expos that had some law firms that gave their spiel, and it just seemed, like they were going to take our information and put it into a template, and here's your FDD, and that's going to, cost X amount of dollars.
I'm listening to it, I'm having anxiety as I'm watching this thing going, I'm going to be the first one. I actually think I emailed before it was over just to make sure that I was the first one that they were going to consider to help franchise. And what was great is it only got better. It wasn't like they did a great job marketing, we signed contracts, and then boom, it just turned into every other company. They immediately went to work. They listened to who we are. We had awesome, meaningful conversations. I really felt like they cared about knowing who we were. And I think the heart of that comes out in our franchise documents. And also when we went to visit him face to face.
The other thing is that he's passionate about what he does. He loves it, and you can just tell. You could tell from the time you walk into the office, you meet his employees, are all happy, smiling, and happy to be there. Where other places that we went to, it wasn't like that. So we saw too that he had a lot of the same values and culture that we had as a company as well. So that's what made it the perfect match for us.
Charles comes across as somebody that you've always known. There's no warm up or weird or dealing with like, oh, well, you know how lawyers are. I mean, it was immediately like, I felt like we were in business together. And that was huge. You can't duplicate that. You can't fabricate that. And ever since then, I love seeing an email from him. I love to keep him posted on what we're doing. And I feel like we've selected a company that also has a staff that's just as caring, that I call their office and they act like they know me. And they might know my name, but for them to give me such a warm welcome, you don't get that anymore. Even, you go to the same mechanic for years and the guy that works on your car never says hello. So it's awesome to work with a company that is in law, and you kind of have certain perceptions of, well, it's a law firm, but they're completely different than any law firm that we've ever encountered, and we love working with them.
But Charles, he seemed like he appreciated he appreciated what we were doing, and he also had a franchise of his own, which he had bought, which was like the deal maker right there, because he could see as a franchisor where we were going, but also knew the law side of it, and being able to see the franchisor side of it and the franchisee side of it was really important to us, because when franchising is done right, it should be that the franchisor is doing everything that they could possibly do to serve and help their franchisees to ensure that they're successful. Because if the franchisees are not successful when franchising is done right over long term, then the franchisor is not going to have success either eventually.